Hey, I'm Dusti Martin with the Martin Group at Platinum Living Realty. Today we're going to talk about our monthly market update for the city of Scottsdale. It is December 8th, 2023. So let's buckle up, hit the subscribe button, and let's go. All right, active listings are down in the city of Scottsdale, 2.7%. Our sold listings are up, though, 7.2%. Our median sale price per square foot is up 2.6% over this time last year, currently sitting at a median price per square foot of $399.90, essentially $400 a square foot. That is good. We did have a couple months this last year where we did see negative appreciation year over year, but as we come to the end of the year, the end of our calendar and fiscal year, we are seeing our year over year stats up at 2.6% over this time last year. That is a return to normal appreciation. Normal appreciation before the last couple years was considered 1 to 2% year over year, with corrections every 5 to 7 years of about 1%, meaning over a 7-year period, on average, you'd gain 1 or 2% every year and then have 1 year after that or in the middle of that somewhere where you lost 1%. Generally speaking, real estate's supposed to be a hedge against inflation long term. So you really want to be looking at a 10-year chunk. So when we're seeing appreciation of 1 or 2%, especially now with the last 4 or 5 years with such heavy appreciation in the double digits, our new normal is like 2 to 4%. So now seeing that 2% or just over 2.6, a little over 2.5%, that tells us things have calmed down. I know we're not feeling it at the grocery store or the gas pump, but at least housing prices for the time being have taken a little bit of a breather, and I think everybody needed that. Our months of supply, though, is down 9.2% over this time last year, currently sitting at 3.99 months of supply. If you've been watching this channel long, you know that 4 months or less is a seller's market. However, this is not a crazy seller's market. It is not the 2020 or 2021 seller's market. This is like normal seller's market where you might get a 96, 7, or 8% list to sale price ratio offer on your home and still have to negotiate repairs. So keep that in mind. However, our median days on market is also down 16.7% over this time last year. This year, we're at about 40 days median days on market, where last year we were at 48. So we've lost a little over a week's worth of average sale time. What this tells us is that we are selling more homes, we are selling them faster, and we are selling them for more money. So don't listen to all the clickbait nonsense on the news and the big media channels. They have no idea what is going on in Scottsdale or Paradise Valley or Cave Creek or Avondale. Find someone local who can pull the stats and knows how to do math to make sure that you know what you're going into when you're looking to buy or sell a home. So with that said, this is a good spot to pause, take a break, get a drink, hit the subscribe button, and we're going to jump right into our supply and demand by price range. We can all agree that a $300,000 buyer is not the same as a $3 million buyer. And because those wants, needs, and buyer pools are different, the supply and demand in those price ranges is also different. So we cannot expect to sell a $300,000 home the same way we would sell a multi-million-dollar home. With that said, we're going to look at the $0 to $100,000 price range. I'm just happy to see that we have inventory in that price range. There's 3 properties. None of them sold last month. That might just be because they came on and nobody saw them yet. But to be honest, we don't usually have inventory in that price range anymore. So even though we don't have anything to calculate, just be happy it's there, right? Then we look at the $100,000 to $200,000 price range. We're at 9.5 months of supply. There's only 19 properties and 2 of them sold. However, my guess is a lot of those older co-ops and other types of properties that are not eligible for traditional financing. So you're waiting for a cash buyer or a seller carryback or something like that, some other scenario. And for those, they are in a buyer's market specifically because the buyer pool in those lower price ranges are likely not able to get those particular properties financed. What do I mean by that? I mean a lot of FHA and VA buyers who would normally be purchasing in this price range, say it's a condo, right? Those condo communities have to apply to HUD for approval in order to use an FHA or VA loan. They have to meet certain requirements and have certain ratios of residents to renters, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. They have to show that they have enough reserves in their HOA bank accounts to, cover something if something goes wrong with the roof at the complex. They also have to have a certain amount of reserves just in case something weird happens. They have to show that the property itself, the buildings themselves are in good order. And so a lot of times communities don't want to do that paperwork, or they forget to do that paperwork, or they switch management companies and that other management company doesn't know when the last time it was done, if they're still good or not. So a lot of times that prevents VA or FHA buyers from being able to buy in that community. So that can have a negative effect on the ability of sellers to sell their property because it greatly reduces the buyer pool. So if you're wondering why such a low price point would have such a high months of supply and be in a buyer's market, that's why. And it's because it's hard to get these communities to keep on top of their paperwork. $200,000 to $300,000 price range, we are at 3.33 months of supply. That's a seller's market. It's a pretty strong one. You're not going to see a whole lot of multiple offer scenarios and stuff, but you'll see good offers and you'll see gentle upward pressure on home values. Same for the $300,000 to $500,000 price range. We're at 3.18, slightly hotter market with about a week's worth of inventory shaved off there, but it's still going to be about the same buying conditions. Then we look at the $500,000 to $700,000 price range. This is kind of your entry level single family detached home in Scottsdale. We're at 2.89 months of supply. This is where you're going to start to see one or two multiple offer scenarios. You might have competition when you're trying to buy a home. When you're selling the home, you might be getting 99% of list price, right? And you might be getting two offers versus just maybe the one. Then we look at the 700,000 to $1 million. That's right smack dab at 3 months worth of inventory. And with that, it's almost the same. It's maybe a little quieter. The multiple offer scenarios are going to be a little rarer, but you're still going to see that gentle upward pressure on the home values. We're just not going to be seeing people waiving repairs and appraisals and crazy stuff like that. Then we look at the $1 to $3 million price range. We're at 4.5 months of supply. Technically not a seller's market, but wanting to be very much so. And you're probably not going to be seeing multiple offers, that kind of thing like that. But you will see gentle upward pressure on home sales and list to sale price ratios. Then as we move into the $3 million price range, we see a huge swing into over 14 months worth of inventory, meaning over a year to sell that home. Difference is that this particular price point swings wildly from month to month every year this time of year. This time of year is always our slowest in Arizona, but especially for these price ranges, simply because these buyers don't necessarily live here all year round. And these buyers are more likely to have homes in other places. And they are probably wanting to enjoy their white Christmas on the ski slopes somewhere. And so we don't generally see this price range move back into a even stable market or even a seller's market, usually until in the coming new year. So usually January 1, that's when people start showing up for Barrett Jackson, the TPC, the bowl games. January and February is when those buyers tend to be here the most. And then they're usually packed up and gone by tax day, at the very latest, by the time spring training is over. If you're wondering what it would look like for you to sell your home or buy a home in Scottsdale, Arizona, go ahead and give me a call at 480-717-9405 or visit my website at dustimartinrealtor.com.